Not all persuasive speeches have to be a hard sell. Here's an example from Deanna Acosta.
I am a follower of American politics. I am a master of low expectations, and I think war is a dangerous place. Now, these are all three quotes by our president, George W. Bush. A lot of you guys know them as Bushisms. What I wanted to focus on is the last one. I think war is a dangerous place. Right there, he's referring to the war going on in Iraq right now. And a lot of the politics involved surrounding the war right now take away from the actual issue of the war. So what I want to share with you is an art exhibit that changed my view of the war and made me see the importance of the war. Okay, so what I want to tell you first is how I actually came about this art exhibit. I actually got the chance to go to Washington, D.C. about a year and a half ago, and for those of you who don't know, Washington, D.C. has so many sites to go see. There's the Holocaust Museum, the Smithsonian Museums, and there's also a lot of, like the World War II Memorial, the FDR Memorial, the Thomas Jefferson Memorial, you know, a lot of those really important things that helped shape our nation and whatnot.
Using personal pronouns such as I, you, we, us, and our are an effective way to unite the material, the speaker, and the audience. And
what I got to see was the Arlington Cemetery, and at the Arlington Cemetery, for those of you who don't know, it's where a lot of the soldiers that served in the military are buried. They can choose to be buried there if they'd like to.
Listener-centered speakers like Deanna don't assume shared references. Notice how she takes the time to explain a place that she thinks her audience may be unfamiliar with.
And during the time that I went to Washington, D.C., I got to see this art exhibit called The Faces of the Fallen. What it is it's all the soldiers that died in Afghanistan and Iraq between October 10th, 2001 and November 11th, 2004. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start the exhibit. As the exhibit is playing, I want you to go ahead and pay attention to the age of all these different soldiers that you see on the screen behind me here.
Deanna's use of a live website makes for a powerful form of visual support. But always have a backup plan. You never know when that internet connection may fail.
A little bit of background information about the exhibit. It was started by Annette Pullen. She is currently the chair of the exhibit. She is a famous portrait artist, and she's also a very famous professional art professor. A lot of her information could be found on AnnettePullen.com, which is a website about her. She mentions in there how she started the Faces of the Fallen, if anyone wants to go ahead and visit that website.
Verbal junk like or is a problem for many speakers. If this happens to you, become aware of it and then learn how to replace it with a silent pause. Slowing down your pace may help as well.
The exhibit contains 1,326 portraits. They're all 6x8 face portraits, and they include a plate that has the soldier's name, their age, their rank in the military, and also the hometown. The artist of this exhibit, there's about 237 different artists, and they all start from professionals all the way up to students. And as you can see in all these slides, there's very many different variety of styles in here, not just one style. It's just whatever that kind of artist, whatever their medium is what's featured here. The exhibit did close on June 10th, 2007, so if anyone wants to visit this website, it's called facesofthefallen.org. You can find out how the exhibit got started and everything, and more information about it, and you can also view this slideshow on there as well. Just to show you real quick the display of what the exhibit actually looks like. Right here, this is what the exhibit actually looks like, so you can walk through and see all these different portraits of the soldiers, and you can see all these little like flags next to them, these little things that their families have left behind or that other people have left behind. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back to the exhibit.
Not all room setups allow you to manage your own visual support. It's okay to use an assistant. Just be sure to practice with that person ahead of time.
One thing that really affected me when I first saw this is I saw a little portrait of a little girl. She looked about 2 years old, standing next to what was her father's grave. And the first thing I thought of, wow, this little girl is going to live her whole life without her dad there by her side to see her every step. She's going to miss all the times, the special times that she could have had with her father. But then I thought, well, at least she'll know that her father died a hero because he died in that war for us and for her.
Public speakers rely on many forms of proof during their persuasive speeches. Emotional proof, like Deanna just used, may not be logical, but it captures her audience's heart.
Okay, when I asked you to look at the different ages of all these different soldiers, and I remember when I first saw this, I was 17 at the time, and for me to go through it about 2-3 times and see that a lot of these people were between the ages of 18 to about 30, 35 years old, you know, dying at such a young age, to me, doesn't seem like something I would want in my life. So I'm here, I'm thankful for all these people that are out there that died, and I think that what I have to do in order to really appreciate what these soldiers are out there doing for me is to live my life the best that I can and be happy. And so, in conclusion, what I want to go over is, instead of thinking about all the politics that surround the war in Iraq, don't just think about, okay, who am I going to vote for because they are for the war, or who am I going to vote for because they oppose the war? Instead, think about every single one of these individual soldiers that are out there that died in Iraq, that died for us, that died for our country. And instead of thinking about the politics, think of all of them and all the men and women out there that are still out there fighting for our country and fighting for us to be happy and to live our lives.